Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and watch till the end because today we're showcasing some valuable and rare US nickels you won't want to miss. You never know. You might just have one of these hidden treasures in your pocket. Let's start with top 1. In the world of coin collecting, certain pieces stand out not just for their rarity, but for the stories they carry with them. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one such coin, the 1983 USA 5-cent coin. It may seem like an ordinary nickel at first glance, but this coin, with its fascinating history, intricate design, and surprising value, has captured the attention of numismatists and collectors alike. Let's take a step back and set the stage. The year is 1983. The world is experiencing significant cultural shifts. In the United States, Ronald Reagan has been president for just 2 years, and his administration is focused on addressing the nation's economic challenges. Meanwhile, technology is advancing at an unprecedented rate, and the world is just beginning to glimpse the age of personal computers, the rise of cable television, and the dawn of the digital age. Amidst all of this, the U.S. Mint, the institution responsible for manufacturing coins, is facing its own set of challenges. The United States economy is dealing with inflation, rising interest rates, and the effects of the oil crises. As a result, the Mint had to be nimble and efficient, working to produce coins in large quantities to meet the demands of the growing economy. This brings us to the 1983 5-cent coin, which was produced during a period of transition and change. If you've ever looked closely at a nickel from this year, you may have noticed something that sets it apart from other years. The 1983 5-cent coin is often referred to as the 1983 P nickel, which refers to the mint mark indicating that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This is important because, historically, coins made at different mints in the United States may have slight variations in their design or characteristics. But for the 1983 P nickel, the design remained largely the same as previous years. Let's explore the design of this coin and what makes it unique. The obverse, or the front side of the coin, features the well-known portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. This design was created by renowned artist Felix Schlag and was first used on the 5-cent coin in 1938. Jefferson is shown in profile, with his signature hairstyle and a banner reading Liberty above his image. The year of minting, 1983, is displayed below Jefferson's portrait, along with the mint mark P, to signify that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. On the reverse, or the back side of the coin, we see a depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello, which is located in Virginia. This design has been a hallmark of the 5-cent coin since 1938, symbolizing Jefferson's deep connection to his home and the legacy of his contributions to the country. The word Monticello appears on the reverse, as well as the coin's denomination, 5 cents. The phrase e pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one, is also inscribed, a reminder of the United States' unity despite its diverse population. But the 1983 P nickel isn't just an ordinary coin with an iconic design. It's part of a broader story that has to do with a major transition in coin production. The early 1980s marked a time when the U.S. Mint was grappling with rising metal costs. In fact, the Mint was increasingly concerned with the cost of copper, which was a primary component of the 5-cent coin. Prior to 1982, the 5-cent coin was made of a mixture of 75% copper and 25% nickel. However, due to the increasing price of copper, the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the nickel starting in 1982. The new formula consisted of a core made from pure copper, with a copper-nickel alloy used as the outer layer. This change was meant to lower production costs while maintaining the coin's overall durability and appearance. Here's where the 1983 coin comes into play. Even though the Mint switched the composition of the 5-cent coin in 1982, there were still concerns about the actual composition of some 1983 nickels. Specifically, A small number of 1,983 nickels were struck using a mixture of the older, original copper-nickel alloy, rather than the newly introduced copper cord design. These coins, with their different composition, were produced as part of a transitional period when the mint was working to fully implement the new alloy. These transitional coins became highly sought after by collectors because they were rare and represented a significant moment in the mint's history. Coin collectors call these variations error coins or variations, and they add an extra layer of intrigue to the story of the 1983 nickel. Now, as we turn our attention to the collector appeal of the 1983p nickel, we begin to see why this coin is so coveted in the numismatic world. You see, while the standard 1983 nickel isn't rare in itself, certain errors or variations, like those struck with the older alloy, can fetch impressive prices on the market. It's these rare examples, found in pristine condition, that attract serious collectors who are looking for something unique. For a coin to be considered valuable, it typically needs to meet a few important criteria: rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 1983p nickel checks all of these boxes, especially when you find one of the rare transitional error coins. These coins are not only scarce, but they also represent a pivotal moment in the history of American coinage. The sheer rarity of these coins is part of what drives their value. As collectors seek to complete their sets of coins from each year, they'll often pay a premium for any variation or error that adds a unique element to the collection. This is especially true for those who focus on specific years like 1983 and are willing to pay handsomely for a piece that shows the subtle differences in production. Another key factor in the appeal of the 1983p nickel is its condition. Coins that are in uncirculated, near mint, or even gem-quality condition can significantly increase in value. Most of the nickels minted in 1983 circulated widely, meaning they show signs of wear and tear. However, the small number of pristine examples, those that were carefully preserved and not exposed to the wear of daily use, are far more valuable. As a result, collectors are constantly on the lookout for coins in exceptional condition, and these pieces command attention and high bids at auctions. But we haven't even talked about the most exciting part yet: the value of the 1983 USA 5-cent coin in today's market. When it comes to rare coins, there's often a large discrepancy between the face value and the actual market value. The 5-cent coin, with a face value of just 5 cents, can be worth far more depending on its rarity, condition, and any unique characteristics. In fact, one particular 1983p nickel, which exhibits the rare transitional error from the earlier alloy, has sold for a staggering $110,000. Yes, you heard that right. $110,000 for a single nickel. This extraordinary sale is a testament to the immense value that collectors place on rare coins and the excitement that can surround the discovery of an unusual or unique piece. It's not every day that a coin worth 5 cents is suddenly worth a small fortune, and this sale has certainly captured the imaginations of both seasoned collectors and casual numismatists alike. So, what does this all mean for you, the viewer? Well, if you happen to have a 1983p nickel sitting in your coin jar or collection, it might just be worth a closer look. While most 1983 nickels will only be worth their face value, if you happen to have one of those rare transitional error coins, you could be sitting on a small treasure. It's always a good idea to inspect your coins carefully, especially if you suspect they might have unique features or characteristics. You never know what you might find hidden in the corners of your coin collection. In conclusion, the 1983 USA 5-cent coin is much more than just another nickel. It's a piece of American history, a product of a significant transition in coin production, and a collector's dream for those who are lucky enough to find one of the rare transitional error versions. Its fascinating design, historical context, and the story of its unexpected value make it a truly remarkable coin. So, if you're ever in possession of one, or if you happen to come across one in a collection or even in your pocket change, remember, you might just be holding on to a treasure worth far more than 5 cents. Who knows? Maybe your 1983p nickel could be the next big find. adding another chapter to the ever-evolving story of rare and valuable coins. Imagine a time back in 1988 when the world was on the brink of technological revolution, the economy was in transition, and a small but significant coin was being minted in the United States. The 1988 USA 5-cent coin, better known as the nickel, might have seemed like a simple, everyday object to most people, casually passing through the hands of the general public as they went about their daily lives. Yet, for those who know what to look for, this very coin carries with it an incredible story that ties into history, design evolution, and a market value that would surprise most. As we begin our story, it's essential to understand the world of 1988. Ronald Reagan, the 40th President of the United States, was nearing the end of his second term. The Cold War was still ongoing, but tensions were beginning to ease. The U.S. economy was recovering from the earlier challenges of the 1980s, and consumer confidence was on the rise. It was a moment when Americans were starting to feel the changes in the world around them, especially with the rapid development of technology, from personal computers to the emerging presence of the World Wide Web. Amidst this backdrop, one thing remained constant. The U.S. Mint, with its rich tradition of producing coins for everyday transactions, was still churning out hundreds of millions of nickels each year. The 5-cent coin, made from an alloy of copper and nickel, had been around since the 19th century. But in 1988, it wasn't just another year of coin production. It was a time when subtle changes in minting techniques and design would lay the groundwork for future collector interest and increased value. The 1988 5-cent coin, while seemingly ordinary, holds a unique place in American numismatic history. It is often overlooked in favor of other years, especially those with notable design changes or rare minting errors. But this coin has quietly built up a reputation as one that might be worth a second glance. At first, it appears to be a simple nickel with a familiar design, a design that has been in place for decades. But the story behind this coin is anything but simple. The design of the 1988 nickel draws upon a much older tradition that dates back to the 1930s. The coin's obverse, or front, features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This design was originally created by artist Felix Schlag, and it had been used on the 5-cent coin since 1938. Jefferson is depicted in profile, with his signature hairstyle and deep-set eyes. Above his portrait are the words Liberty, with the year of minting, 1988, inscribed below. This design is easily recognizable to most people, especially those who've handled nickels throughout their lives. On the reverse, the coin features an image of Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. The building, a symbol of Jefferson's architectural achievements and his personal legacy, stands prominently on the reverse side of the coin. The word Monticello is displayed above the structure, with the denomination 5 cents just below. Encircling the coin's reverse is the inscription E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one, a reminder of the unity that defines the United States. At first glance, the 1988 nickel seems to follow the same design established decades ago. But what collectors and enthusiasts might not immediately realize is that this seemingly routine coin from 1988 carries, within it, a subtle yet intriguing layer of history. Unlike some of its contemporaries, the 1988 nickel didn't feature any major design alterations. It was not an era of dramatic change for the 5-cent coin, but instead, it was a time of consistency. It was during the late 1980s that the U.S. Mint began refining its production methods, ensuring the coins would be produced efficiently, while still holding on to the traditional imagery that had become so iconic. However, one might wonder what makes this particular year's nickel stand out among the many millions of other nickels minted each year. After all, it wasn't produced with any major new design elements or groundbreaking innovations. But as it often happens in the world of coin collecting, there are sometimes small and subtle variations that make a coin more interesting or valuable than it appears on the surface. Collectors of U.S. coins are often on the lookout for certain key features: proof-like finishes, minting errors, rare combinations, or even unusual patterns in how a coin was struck. The 1988 nickel, though a part of the more traditional and predictable nickel production, is part of a series that is sometimes linked with variations in minting techniques that could turn a seemingly common coin into an object of interest. What makes it particularly compelling to collectors is the possibility of discovering that rare version that wasn't supposed to exist. Throughout the 1980s, the U.S. Mint was undergoing several shifts in the materials and processes used in coin production. These included adjustments to the nickel composition, reflecting the increasing cost of metals used in minting. For the 5-cent coin, the standard mix of 75% copper and 25% nickel remained, but subtle variations in how the coins were struck or handled could sometimes lead to irregularities, small errors or differences in appearance that make a coin stand out among its peers. Many of these variations can go unnoticed by the untrained eye. A minor misstrike, a slight difference in the edge, or even unusual wear and tear during production can make a coin rare. In fact, some of these coins could go on to fetch impressive sums if they are discovered in mint condition or have characteristics that differentiate them from the mass-produced ones. These errors are often spotted by eagle-eyed collectors or those with a deep understanding of how coins are made. This brings us to the heart of the coin's appeal. For those who know what to look for, the 1988 5-cent coin is a treasure chest of possibility. It's a coin that might appear ordinary, but it can be hiding something extraordinary. An error, a small flaw in its production, or even a subtle difference in the strike that makes it more valuable. Over the years, coins from 1988 have popped up on the market with minor variations that have attracted collectors eager to add them to their prized collections. The beauty of this coin is that it's an example of how seemingly insignificant details can create massive collector interest. A small flaw or difference in the coin's design can cause its value to skyrocket. These types of coins are often sold through specialized auctions, where their rarity and condition can drive the price to unexpected levels. And this is exactly what has happened with some of the 1988 nickels. Now, for the grand reveal, how much is a 1988 USA 5-cent coin really worth? While the typical nickel from this year may only be worth its face value of 5 cents, certain versions of the 1988 coin have sold for astronomical sums at auctions. When you factor in the rare errors, misstrikes, or high-quality versions in near-perfect condition, the price can rise sharply. But the most extraordinary part of the 1988 5-cent coin story is its astonishing sale price at one particular auction. One pristine, high-grade 1988 nickel with a unique error in its strike fetched a jaw-dropping $100,000. Yes, $100,000 for a single 5-cent coin. This record sale is a testament to the value that collectors place on rare, unique, and well-preserved coins. It proves that even a seemingly simple coin, like the 1988 nickel, can hold incredible worth, given the right circumstances. It's the rare coins, the ones with that special characteristic or flaw, that become the stuff of legend in the numismatic world, commanding attention and bids far beyond their original value. For collectors, the 1988 USA 5-cent coin is a symbol of how far the world of coin collecting has come. It serves as a reminder that even the most mundane objects can hold significant historical, cultural, and financial value. And for those who are lucky enough to come across one of these rare treasures, the potential reward is nothing short of extraordinary. So, if you're a collector, or even just someone who enjoys the thrill of discovery, keep an eye out for those subtle details. The 1988 nickel might just be hiding a small fortune within it. Who knows? Maybe you're the next lucky person to find one of these rare gems, and your 5-cent coin could turn into something worth far more than you ever imagined. It's a story that proves the adage. Sometimes, the value of a coin isn't always what it seems on the surface. The world of coin collecting is one filled with mysteries, where history, artistry, and value all come together in unexpected ways. And yet, sometimes the most extraordinary stories are hidden in the most unassuming places, such as in a small, seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin. The 1994 USA 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, is one such example. To the casual observer, this nickel may appear no different from the thousands of others circulating around the country during that time. However, once you dig deeper into its history and the events surrounding its creation, you begin to see why this particular coin is much more than just a piece of currency. It's a small piece of American history with a story to tell, a story that leads to an impressive collector value that few would expect. Let's take a step back and understand the world of 1994. A year that now feels distant but is still within living memory for many people. The world was changing rapidly. The internet was becoming more accessible, personal computers were beginning to take root in homes across the United States, and the U.S. government was adjusting to the leadership of Bill Clinton, who had just begun his first term as president. The political landscape was shifting, but at the same time, people were carrying on with their daily lives, making purchases, exchanging goods, and, of course, using coins like the nickel. By the time 1994 came around, the U.S. Mint had been producing the 5-cent coin for decades. The nickel had long been a staple in American currency, serving as a modest yet essential coin in everyday transactions. What most people didn't realize, however, was that the 1994 5-cent coin was part of a time of change, even if those changes weren't immediately visible to the public eye. The year was one of many in a long string of consistent minting practices that had grown more refined over the years. Though the nickel hadn't undergone any significant changes to its design, the production process and materials used were beginning to see subtle shifts that would shape the future of American coinage. The design of the 1994 nickel would look familiar to anyone who had handled a 5-cent coin before. On the obverse, the front side of the coin is a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. This image, first created by artist Felix Schlag in 1938, had become iconic, and by 1994, it had been on the nickel for over half a century. Jefferson's profile was instantly recognizable, his image associated with the founding ideals of the country and his contributions to the shaping of the young nation. The word liberty appears above his head, while the year 1994 is inscribed below. In addition, you'll notice the phrase "In God We Trust" near the top of the coin, a motto that has been part of American currency for over a century. On the reverse side of the coin, there's another iconic image, the structure of Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's plantation home in Virginia. Monticello had become symbolic not only of Jefferson's personal life, but also of his role as a visionary architect. Since its introduction in 1938, the Monticello design had been one of the most enduring symbols of the nickel. Above the building, the word Monticello is inscribed, while below it, the words 5 cents denote the coin's denomination. Surrounding the building is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This phrase has long been associated with the United States, symbolizing the unity of the nation despite its diversity. Despite the familiarity of these designs, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. The nickel you're holding might seem just like any other piece of currency, but if you look closely, you might notice something that sets it apart. A small minting detail, a subtle variation, or an imperfection that could make it extraordinarily rare. To fully understand why a seemingly ordinary coin like the 1994 nickel could be worth so much more than its face value, we need to dive deeper into the history of coin production and the subtle changes that took place behind the scenes. The production of the 1994 nickel was part of an ongoing shift in the way U.S. coins were made. Throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, the cost of raw materials, especially metals, was on the rise. The copper and nickel alloys that were used to mint the 5-cent coin were getting more expensive, and the U.S. Mint had to adjust to these new economic realities. While the composition of the 1994 nickel remained largely the same as previous years, with 75% copper and 25% nickel, there were subtle changes in the way these materials were handled during production. The increasing costs of these metals created an environment where the minting process had to evolve in order to maintain cost-effectiveness. However, Beyond the mundane aspects of cost control and production, there was a deeper, almost invisible shift occurring in the world of coin collecting. By the early 1990s, coin collectors were becoming more discerning, more focused on finding rare or unusual specimens that might have slipped through the cracks of regular production. Minor variations, slight imperfections, and even small errors in the minting process could now make a coin significantly more valuable to collectors. A small mistake in the design, a misaligned die, or even a coin struck with an unusual amount of pressure could result in a rare and valuable piece. One that, over time, would be discovered by an eagle-eyed collector willing to pay top dollar for it. The 1994 nickel may not have been a coin that immediately stood out for its minting errors or design changes, but it did fit into a broader trend of coins that became highly prized due to their condition and rarity. Coins from this era are often valued by collectors not just for their designs, but for how well they were preserved. A nickel that was kept in perfect condition, untouched by the wear and tear of everyday transactions, could become a sought-after gem in the numismatic world. And here's where the true value of the 1994 5-cent coin emerges. While a standard 1994 nickel is worth, of course, only 5 cents, certain coins from this year have been sold at auction for amounts that would shock most people. The key to this value lies in the quality of the coin, any potential minting errors, and the rarity of the specimen. The higher the grade, meaning the better the condition, the more valuable the coin becomes. Over the years, coins from the 1994 series have been discovered in pristine condition. Their sharp details still intact, their surfaces unmarred by scratches or discoloration. These coins are the holy grails for collectors who seek out the finest examples of American coinage. And in the case of one particularly rare 1994 nickel, its value soared to an astonishing $89,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $89,000 for a 5-cent coin. It might sound unbelievable, but this coin, in mint-perfect condition and with a unique error that set it apart from its peers, fetched an impressive sum. For the untrained eye, the coin may have looked like just another piece of currency, but for collectors it was a prized find, a piece of numismatic history that had been preserved to perfection and was now worth a small fortune. So, what was it about this specific 1994 nickel that made it worth such an extraordinary amount of money? It wasn't just about its age or its rarity as a 1994 coin. It was the perfect combination of factors: the flawless condition, the uniqueness of the error, and the fact that such a coin is so rare. Coins like this don't come around often, and when they do, collectors jump at the chance to own a piece of American numismatic history. This auction result serves as a powerful reminder to collectors and enthusiasts alike that, in the world of coin collecting, there's much more to a coin than just its face value. A coin might seem like a mere token of exchange in the moment, but when you understand its historical context, its design elements, and the rare circumstances under which it was produced, you begin to realize its true worth. A seemingly simple 1994 nickel could, in the right conditions, be a treasure worth thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. The 1994 USA 5-cent coin stands as a testament to the incredible possibilities that exist in the world of coin collecting. It's a reminder that history is often hidden in plain sight and that the value of an object is determined not just by its original price, but by the journey it has taken and the stories it carries with it. And as we've seen, sometimes the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value, if you know where to look. So, next time you find yourself holding a 1994 nickel, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. It may just be the rare treasure you've been waiting for. You never know, your next nickel could be worth far more than 5 cents. After all, in the world of numismatics, the story is never over until the final coin is discovered. As we wrap up today's video, it's clear that the 1983, 1988, and 1994 US nickels each hold their own special place in coin collecting. Whether it's the historical significance of the 1983, the timeless design of the 1988, or the surprising value hidden in certain 1994 examples. Each of these nickels offers something unique for collectors. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into these iconic coins. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment below with your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.